Hello, everybody. Um, I am 26 weeks today. Um, Lately, the baby's been definitely bumping around. Uh, I really enjoy it. I'm kind of disappointed that my 4-year-old doesn't really have an interest in it again, but he didn't really have interest in his sister before she was born either. Like his interest, like when I went into labor, he decided he was interested that he was having um a, a baby sibling. Um Last week, 25 weeks, I didn't do a belly shot or a video because uh, my son fried my power cord. I had a big glass of water and I was drinking it, and he told me, "Be careful, Mom, it's really full." And then he proceeded to knock it over, and I'm glad it was just my power cord. It was a big mess. Um, so 25 weeks, my cravings were, well, I guess it was 24 weeks. The week before 25 weeks, I had cravings of salt and butter. Like anything had to have salt or butter on it. This week, well, obviously not 26 weeks because I just started, but week 25, I didn't really have any cravings. I've been really lazy and tired the last week. Um, uh, Last week, I had an appointment. I'm trying to remember what I've covered in my videos before. Like, covering 2 weeks is hard to remember. What, like, I remember things, but I don't know if it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. But yeah, last week, I had my appointment on week on the day I became 25 weeks. And they had my estimated due date wrong again. They had it figured from my LMP. Uh, and it's, I've known from the beginning that was not right. So she's like talking about like how I needed to be doing, um, I needed to be like, she wanted to do um, some of the screenings, like the glucose and something else. Totally forgot. Rogam. She wanted to talk about doing those last week, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't I have some time yet? And she's like, well, it says I think it said I was 26 and a half weeks. And I was like, no, I think I'm 24 weeks. And she's like, okay, we'll look this up. I guess they have their younger students do the paperwork, and they just never seem to get that LMP is not always right. Um, so we figured it out, and she goes, "Oh, you're 25 weeks today," and I was like, "Oh, today is Tuesday." um, so that was a little fun. So I have my next appointment in a couple weeks, at 28 weeks, so I can get the Rogam shot. I definitely know I want that. Last time, the midwife I was seeing regularly, which was kind of silly because she was also big, huge pregnant. Not big, huge, but she was a month or a few weeks ahead of me. Um, and she was the one who had the time I had available. So I kept seeing her. And she, I guess, is kind of against it. She's not working there anymore. I think she is taking time off to be with her little one, which makes sense to me. Things have changed a lot there. But Yeah, she seemed against it. Like every time I brought it up, she's like, "How about we run a blood test?" I was like, "What? Oh, I don't understand." But and she's like, "Yeah, you're not like building antibodies or whatever." So she kept putting it off, and I ended up getting it late. And then they never recorded that they needed to know what blood type my daughter was. So, like, on the day I needed to get the one after my daughter, I was like, "Hey, am I going to get a RhoGAM shot?" And they're like, "Oh, do you need one?" I was like, "I don't know." And they're like, "Oh, well, it didn't say that you were negative, so we didn't know that your daughter needed tested." So I had to have one, and I called them like right before they were leaving work. So they had to like run over after work and give me a shot before, because you have to have it within a certain amount of time. So I definitely want that at 28 weeks when it when you need to be getting it, so it doesn't get all confused. Um, and that's something like after I finally saw a different midwife who was she's like a lot more she's a lot more medical book minded than the other one, so she was like definitely for it, but she didn't want to tell me to get it. She gave me tons of information, like, look this over and decide if this is what you want to do. This is why to do it, this is why not to do it. And she just kept giving, like, every time I was like, okay, I'm I want to do this, I think I do, or I think I don't, she would like give me more information. So I don't know why in my mind it was so hard to make up the decision. So on the way home, my husband actually went with me to that appointment. So I was discussing it with him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you should get that." So after my appointment, I had to call her and tell her I wanted it and drive back and to get it. Um, yeah, that was fun. So I don't want to go through all that this time. So I just want to go ahead and get it done at 28 weeks. And so that's when my next appointment is. And my next appointment is with um, the medical minded midwife. So I know I'm going to get, as long as I go in and say, this is what I want, she'll give it to me. The glucose test, or it's not what it's called. What is it called? The pregnancy diabetes. I'm totally drawing a blank right now. Well, that one, I don't think I tested on that one till about 35 weeks, 36 weeks, because I remember I ended up testing because I got a spike in my urine, and then after my appointment, they decided to test my urine again, and it still hadn't gone down, or it hadn't gone down much. Um, so I had a lot of sugar. Um, so then I went in for a 3-hour test, I think. I don't remember. It might not have been 3 hours. It seemed like a long time because I was there with my son and I was alone, trying to keep him occupied in their little nursing room. Um, and I managed to get it down during that test, but then I had to wait for the results. And they had me testing my blood for a couple weeks. Um, and it helped me realize what I could and could not eat, and how my body was taking the sugars I was eating. And I know that was definitely around 35, 36 weeks, because they brought me the glucometer to test my blood when I had my home appointment, which I think is at 36 weeks. So I think I'm going to do the same thing this time, as long as I'm not spilling it in my urine, or I'll just watch for the markers, like if I keep measuring big, which was another thing. I measured a week big, which is not, you know, huge, but it's the first time I've ever measured big, I think. I remember one measurement last time. It was off, but I don't think it was big. I think it was small. So, and I'm not in, you know, a week off, like measurement wise. Thus, it could be a lot of different things, as long as it's not every time or it consistently getting bigger or something like that. I think I'll just not do that one. What else? Yeah, so I measured a week big. I measured 26 weeks. I'm not sorry. It's checking to see what they're talking about. 20. Oh yeah, I measured 26 weeks and I'm not all that worried about it. I kind of found it exciting because I had a really rough couple weeks. Like first I thought I was getting an infection and was on the couch, which was nice that being on the couch. Yeah, that was definitely a couple weeks ago because I remember mentioning that and doing the video with my ear infection. So yeah, but it was nice. I hadn't had an appointment since then, so it was nice to know that the baby was definitely growing while I was down on the couch. Trying to think of what else. My little girl is definitely walking now. She seemed to get it just like that. Just all of a sudden, everywhere she goes, she's walking. I got really emotional the other day. My video is starting to act up again. Like my voice sounds really weird. I was thinking about one time when I was pregnant with my daughter, my son and my husband went out to the store or something, and when they came back, my my son said, "Hey, babe," because that's what my husband said every time he came in the door. So he thought that's how you greeted me when you walked in. And I started crying about it, and I went and checked on him in their room, and I was so emotional about it. The sound is getting messed up again. So, and I can't really think of anything. No cravings this week. So, oh, belly shot, and then I'm done. See if I can do this. Of course. I don't feel like this squatting down makes it look smaller or something.